Good morning. Today we are continuing on working with those expressions. We are doing CO38. I can evaluate algebraic expressions using multiple operations. Does anybody know what the term evaluate means? When you're asked to evaluate something, what are we doing? Vinny?
Like, watch something,
Not watching. Michael?
figure out, so like answer.
Yeah. To actually do the math. When you evaluate a math problem, you are doing the math. You're solving it. Okay? So that's a term that we need to know, because when we see that in directions, we need to know what they're asking us to do. So if it says evaluate this, it means do the math, find the answer. So hopefully by now we are all comfortable with variables and using their given values to evaluate expressions. So far we focused specifically on addition and subtraction, multiplication and division, and exponents. We did exponents quite a while ago, but we have done them. Now we are ready to put all of those operations together. Remember to follow PERMDAS, the order of operations. What does our P stand for? Rhoda?
Parentheses.
Parentheses. What is the E? Jude? Exponents. What is the R? Fernanda?
Radicals.
Radicals. Remember that was doing the square root. We learned about that in the fall. What is M, Jack?
Multiply.
Multiply. What's the D, Jackson?
Divide.
Divide. What's the A, Shantrea?
Addition.
Addition. And what's the S, Haley? Subtraction. Now remember, when we have PERMDAS, we have levels. So we have, the first thing we do is we look at those parentheses. The second level is exponents and radicals together, because remember, they're opposites of each other. We square something, we multiply it by itself. We find the square roots with that radical. They're the opposites. It's whichever one you hit first, reading from left to right. Multiplying and dividing are opposites of each other, so they're on the same level. It doesn't matter which one comes first as we read from left to right. You do the one that you hit first. So just because we see the M before the D doesn't mean we have to multiply before we divide. Same thing with addition and subtraction. So really, they should be on top of each other, like this, because it's whichever one you hit first. I always have students get confused by that, and they say, well, it's addition before subtraction, but it's not actually before. We like to say PERMDAS because it gives us a nice little acronym to remember. But really, they're the same levels, so it's whichever one comes first. Do not forget that. Tricks people up all the time. All right, so we're going to write each expression with the following values plugged in. So you're going to have to look to see what letters there are and what those letters, what number they represent. You're going to rewrite your expression using the correct numbers instead of letters. So that's going to be our first step. So let me scroll up so we can see what that means. So we have 2. When the 2 is right next to the A, what operation is that, Leo? Multiplying. So I'm going to put my little multiplication symbol. And then for A, that's a 4 plus 6. So I'm going to rewrite that expression using all numbers and putting in those operations that we just had to know what they meant. I'm writing in those operations. So, following PERMDAS, what's the first thing I'm going to do? Jude?
2 times 4.
Yeah, I'm going to do my multiplying, because multiplying comes before addition. So I'm going to do 2 times 4 is 8. I'm gonna bring down my addition symbol, bring down my 6. Notice how I'm keeping it organized. I'm not doing chicken scratch writing all my different operations all over the place, because then we get confused. Okay, we write out our expression, we figure out what we're going to do, we bring it down, we bring down everything else in the expression, and then we do our next step. What's our next step? Michael?
Addition.
Addition. 8 plus 6 is 14. That's the last thing, there's nothing else to bring down, so that's my final answer. And I can circle my final answer at the bottom. Your work should look like that little funnel, right? It's that expression starts out big, and we're getting it slowly down to the 1 number answer, okay? Stay organized. This isn't huge, but I'm telling you, in the future, you're gonna have big, long expressions and equations. It will get confusing if we don't stay organized. So we want to get in the habit and the practice of being organized with our work now, because it will help us in the future. I guarantee it. Okay. Let's look at, let me see. Let's look at this one. Parentheses a plus c, square root of 2. Not square root, squared. So I'm going to keep those parentheses. A is 4, plus c is 3, and then I have my exponent of 2. What am I going to do there? What's my first step? Michael?
Do the work in parentheses.
Yeah, I have to do the parentheses first. So I have to do 4 plus 3 is 7. Do I need to keep the parentheses? No, because I've already done the work inside the parentheses. I do have to bring down my exponent of 2. What does it mean when I say 7 squared? What math am I doing, Shantria?
7 times itself.
7 times itself. Not 7 times 2. It's 7 times 7. What is 7 times 7? Joy? 49. So remember, when we are doing those exponents, you're not multiplying it by that number. You're multiplying the number by itself that many times. Okay, so don't forget that important step. On the bottom, we have some questions to answer. Our first one says, using at least 2 of the variables above, with that A, B, C, and D, write an expression with the value of 24. So it's an expression. Are we going to put equals 24? No. But we know that's what it does need to equal. But because it's an expression, we don't put in the equal sign. All right? Expressions have no equal sign. But we know that our expression needs to equal 24. Who thinks they can use that A, B, C, and D, use 2 of those variables plus other operations, other numbers, to equal 24? What did you come up with, Alex?
B plus B plus A.
Say that one more time.
B plus B plus A.
All right, so I look at that. B is a 10 plus 10 plus 4. 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 plus 4 is 24. That works. That is a great expression. We could do almost the exact same thing, but make it a little different. I could say 2B plus A, and instead of B plus B, I could say 2 times B, right? Because 2 times 10 is 20. They both work. There are different ways we can come about getting this. You can even use other numbers in there, like how we have, you know, we have a B and we have an A, and then they have another number that you're adding or subtracting. You're not limited. Just don't make it so big it gets complicated, because that's when we make simple math mistakes. Okay, does that make sense? The next one, you have to use 3 of the variables to equal 36, and then we have some review at the bottom. So make sure you do the review work. Any questions on today's math? So as you are working, go slow and go step by step. Really, truly stay organized. Make your little funnel down to your answer so you don't miss any steps. I know some of it seems a little tedious, a little nitpicky, but if we learn to stay organized now, in a couple of months when we get a little more complicated, next year when it definitely gets more complicated, you're gonna be grateful that you're used to the organization. Joy?
So multiplication comes before addition and subtraction.
Yes, multiplication and division is the level before addition and subtraction. So if we are like at this one, you would want to multiply before you add and subtract. Any other questions? Jack?
Are you allowed to use a calculator on this?
Yes, you are allowed to use a calculator. But actually, I'm gonna say you have to show your steps, okay? So you can say use the calculator for 5 times 4, but I want to see the steps all written in. I don't want to see anybody putting in this initial expression into your calculator and just giving me an answer. I know your calculator knows perm does. I know it. Calculators know how to do that. I need to know that you know perm does. Right, so you can use the calculator to help with each step level. You cannot use the calculator to just give you the final answer. Okay, so show your work, show those steps. Any other questions? Okay, when you are finished, remember you have your math packet to work on. People have practice work to be working on and turning in. I have some that were turned in yesterday that I'm going to be correcting and passing back. This is quiet work time. If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well. I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. And don't forget to like and subscribe.